Hello Libra, and welcome to 2019. Wow, Libra, I've got to say, you're in for a full-on year, let's put it that way. We all are. This year is packed full of eclipses. We have 5, in fact, which is just incredible. Starting with January 5th, we have a partial solar eclipse at the new moon in Capricorn. Now that's January 5th or 6th, depending on where you are in the world. For those that are in Australia, that'll be the 6th. And for you, Libra, this is going to have an effect on everything that's to do with your home, your foundation, your inner being, family, okay? Like your base, let's put it that way. Before I get into that though, I do want to say from a positive point of view, you are having Venus going direct all year long, and Venus is your ruling sign. So last year you had Venus retrograde, and in that period, a lot of you could have questioned who you were. Last year for a lot of you, you could have ended marriages, you could have separated, divorced. There could have been like this push-pull of relationships backwards and forwards for you. And unfortunately, some of that's still going to carry on through this year, okay? Because it's really, like I said, from an astrology point of view, there's a light being shone on your home, your foundation, your sense of family. What's interesting is that for the past 2 years, we've had the North Node in Leo, okay? And at the end of January, we have another eclipse, a full moon. It's a total lunar eclipse on the 21st of January in Leo. So it's the last of the Leo eclipses. And this for you is focusing very much on, how can I explain this? Like living your best life for you. So one of the beautiful traits of your sign is that you often want everyone to be happy, right? But sometimes that can be at the detriment of your own happiness. So this year is very much about you actually living in a way that suits you, not that suits other people. And one of the big challenges for you this year is all going to be about rising above people potentially, or you feeling like people are potentially judging you. And this last Leo eclipse on the 21st of January, full moon eclipse, so it's completing a cycle, is about ending some karma for you, okay? Leo is a sign, it represents number 8, cycle of karma. And for you in particular, it's in a house that really focuses on you actually letting go of pleasing other people. Now, the North Node going into Cancer is really positive for you, okay? What it means is it's basically going to put a focus on your destiny, on your profession in the world, on what you do, what you create. It's really going to ask you to nurture your career this year, Libra, whether that be whether you have a career, whether you have a business, whether you've just started a business and you have goals to expand that business, whatever it may be for you. For your sign, it's really going to be about nurturing that aspect, about putting a focus on that. And I can see that through the cards that I've laid out for you here. What's interesting is that it comes back to that theme, though, of not trying to put others first. So, you know, it's really about honoring you when it comes to your career and your goals and your aspirations. And, you know, a perfect example of that is, for example, let's say you're in a partnership and you really want to strive and achieve something, but then your partner says to you, oh, maybe not this year, honey, you know, we really don't have the money, or I really want you to focus on raising the kids. Or if, let's say, your goal is about joining a ski team, and your wife says to you, oh, I don't think that's a really good idea to pursue that dream this year or that career. Okay, I want whatever that is that comes up for you in whatever way it is, okay, whatever the example is, you need to do what's right for you this year, Libra. That's the message, especially when it comes to your career, your place in the world. Because it's going to be a really big focus for you, to the point where you could actually change careers completely, do like a full 360 and go in a complete different direction. So it's going to be massive. And I can see that how that plays out in the cards for you here. There's a massive kind of area here that kind of gives me that indication. So big focus on home, big focus on your sense of purpose, your sense of career, your sense of identity. So it's very much about, what is my life purpose? What is my legacy? What am I how am I being of service? What am I doing here? That kind of thing. Now, I just want to point out July as a month to take note, okay? We have an eclipse on the 2nd, and I just want to look at my notes. New moon, total solar eclipse in the sign of Cancer. So that'll be the one that focuses on your destiny, your profession in the world, what we just talked about. But then on the 16th, just a few weeks later, we have the full moon in the sign of Capricorn, and that's going to be a partial lunar eclipse. And that for you is focusing on your home, your foundation, your inner being, family. For some of you, you are moving at this time, okay? And I see that in the cards here as well. So you're either moving house, you're moving in or out with someone, you're expanding. If you've separated from a partner, it could be that you're finally moving out of that family home. It could be that you're finally dividing up assets so you can buy a new home, that kind of thing. It's going to be very much focused on your home. Just be careful in this month because Mercury is going to be retrograde, and that's all about communication, okay? So it's going to be a tricky month. To be honest, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to try and get away from as many people as possible because it's going to be intense energy all around, and you know, it's going to be important to keep yourself very grounded that month, especially for you, because you are going to have so much change when it comes to home. And if it's not you moving or relocating, it's something financially to do with home. And I can see that right here. Okay. The other important thing to note for you is that Saturn, you know, Saturn's in Capricorn and it's getting stronger day by day. And, you know, we're leading up to a massive conjunction of planets in Capricorn. At this eclipse, it's happening on the 5th. We have the sun and the moon in Capricorn, as well as Pluto and what other sign? There's like 5 signs or something crazy. It's a big energetic push for looking at things to deal with Saturn and where Saturn is in your chart. And for you, it's about not putting others first. Okay, so if you put others first, your goals and aspirations, it's just not going to work. And I don't think I can say that enough for you, but it'll come up in the reading as we go along. And just be careful. The other thing that's going to come up is that you may feel all year like you're not living up to a certain standard, whether that be your partner, your romantic interest, your friends, your family, whatever it is. You could feel like you take 1 step forward and then 2 steps back in. Again, it comes back to that pleasing everyone thing, where you feel like people are judging you. They're not. This is just a feeling that you have, and it's something that's kind of like within your being. So be very conscious of that, okay? Because it's something that could slip you back into like a little bit of anxiety or depression. All right, so enough about astrology. Let's get into the cards. I have laid out 12 cards for you, starting with January through to June. So 6 cards for the beginning of the year, and then 1 trump card for your overall energy of how you're going to be feeling. And then another 6 from July through to December, again with a trump card on how you're going to be feeling. Now, the deck that I'm using for this reading is called the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. It is not traditional tarot. It's something that I generally only use for twin flame readings or quite spiritual readings, because some of the cards aren't representative of major arcana and traditional tarot. So they have quite deep spiritual meanings, but I felt compelled to use them for this year because of all the shifts and eclipses going on and such heavy themes for every sign. But to kind of bring it back down to earth a little bit more, I will be using the Rider-Waite Tarot that is traditional tarot that you guys might have seen before, especially if you watch tarot on YouTube. It's kind of more the traditional messages. And I will point out before I get into it, you do have 3 5s in your spread, Libra, which is all about change, change. It's like back to back almost. And then at the bottom of the deck, just as I pulled it up, you have another 5 again. So, and that's in every aspect, in every modality. You've got earth, so coins, money, you've got emotions, you've got intellect, and then you've got your career. So expect a lot of changes this year. All right, but let's get started. I want to focus on the first 6 months, and I'm going to qualify each month and give you an additional guidance card, and then we'll get straight into it. Thank you, Spirit, Angels. I call upon my guide, Eddie. Can I have 1 card for each month, starting from January through to June? Yes, I know. So 1 card, please, for January. Just 1 card. Thank you so much. There it is. And cups. I think you have that somewhere else, don't you? Yeah, there's that anxiety card about worrying about other people judging you. 2 nines together. Other people judging you about money. That's in March, but we'll get to that in a minute. 1 card on April, please. There it is. Where'd it go? Thank you. It's funny. I didn't have this kind of trouble with any other sign other than Virgo in terms of when I was shuffling for the cards. So it's a lot of messages coming through for you, Libra. One card for, there it is, thank you. Yeah, okay. So you start off January this month that we have the eclipses. So that eclipse in Capricorn that I've mentioned a few times now, that's happening as I'm recording this video. Well, happens as I record this video the day after. But you start off with the King of Cups and the 4 of Coin. So the 4 of Coins, kind of like the 4 of Pentacles, is my miser card, like holding on tightly to your money. Money could be a little bit tight this month, or you're just really trying not to overspend. It could also be talking about you wanting to build a foundation, okay? So wanting to start anew, build something new. This could tie into your home, and this is what I was talking about before, about wanting to move, relocate, and that's why you're holding on to money. And the King of Cups here could speak for some of you about, for those that are in relationships, about wanting to move in with your partner, move into a new place together, find your own home, find that real stability. It could be a theme that you're talking about in January. If you're not coupled, and you have recently separated, it could speak about actually trying to divide those assets up and move out yourself and find that base again. And for those that are completely single, it could speak about actually looking at wanting to get a different place of residence and share with someone else, or get someone in to share with you. If it's not related to your home, it can speak about matters of the heart, wanting to have love come in and actually have that pure kind of love, that unconditional kind of love, right? Coupled with the foundation. So really wanting to feel secure when it comes to your love life and have something concrete, trying to draw that in, manifesting that in. And you know, this is the very best time to do it because we have the new moon in Capricorn. It is focused on your home, and all of the planets are direct. So from now until March 6th is the very best time, if I haven't said that already, for you to actually begin something new, to start something new. When you get into February, you have the card of the 4 of Cups and the card of Integrity. So this is a really interesting card combination, okay? Do you remember what I said to you about this is a year for you about not pleasing others, about doing what's right for you? And now, I don't mean egocentric kind of ways of I'm going to do whatever I want. Obviously, you still consider other people's feelings. But I really feel like it's that kind of year where you actually stand up and speak your truth. And this is what this card means. It's the card of integrity, okay? It's quite an interesting illustration. I love this deck because it kind of, if you take away the 4 of Cups there, it focuses very much on purity and being one with nature and actually coming back to the core of who you are. I think this is perfect for kind of explaining what the message I am trying to get across about being authentic, your true self. And it's interesting that it's coupled with the 4 of Cups. So for some of you that are in relationships, I could see that February could be a really tricky month for you. It could feel like you're emotionally unfulfilled. For those that are dating, it could feel like everyone that you meet or that you date isn't kind of just on your level. They're just not having the whole kit and caboodle that you're looking for, I guess. And do you know what? That's an okay thing. I think the hardest thing is deciding in life what we want. Once we know what we want, then it's interesting how the whole universe conspires to bring it to us. But I think until we know what that is, you're just going to keep attracting the wrong people. And for those that are in couples, until you speak up and speak your truth and come from a place of integrity about how you feel and what you want and do it in a calm manner, then you're going to feel a little bit of dissatisfaction. And that could be about this potential home move as well. What's interesting is March is that little bit of anxiety that creeps in. Do you remember I said that before about being careful about not pleasing others because the depression and anxiety could come through? Well, here it is. So this is a card about the card I look for to show me anxiety or people having mental struggles, disorders, depression, that kind of thing. It's literally, I mean, the illustration speaks for itself. It's kind of when you can't sleep at night, or you have a bad dream and you wake up and you're like, that kind of thing, like, what's going on and where am I and what am I doing? It's that real self-doubt kind of niggling feeling. And Libra, you're kind of prone to this all year, so you need to stay on top of that. And for those that have heard me speak about it before, I rave on and on about meditation. I can't speak highly enough. I'm still trying to get my mum to do it on a daily basis because I just know how much it has helped me. Insight Timer is the app that I recommend. Go get it, download it. It's free. It takes 2 seconds. It's the way you can get on top of this, okay? Because it's going to keep creeping through, and I see it in the next 3 months for you as well. So here's your invitation. And it's coupled with the Nine of Pentacles. So it's an interesting combination because it's like this speaks about material abundance, wealth, success, being very grounded when it comes to money. So it's almost like you're doing quite well when it comes to money, but yet you're anxious about it. Maybe it's the feeling of you finally got savings, or you've built savings up again and you finally got money. Maybe after a few of you've separated after a partner and you're finally doing really well for yourself, and then you're having sleepless nights, worried that you're going to lose it all, or worried that you can't take that next step in a business, or worried that you won't be able to go out on your own in a business because you're scared you're going to lose it all, okay? Important message there too is that in life we always have, it's really simple, 2 choices. We either have love or fear. And if you put out fear in terms of monetary gain, wealth, anything like that, what are you going to attract back? More fear. If you put out love and be like, I'm abundant, I have plenty, I have food on the table, a roof over my head, all that kind of basic stuff, and money flows freely to me, I'm a money magnet, then watch as that shifts, watch as that money actually comes into you. April's an interesting month. Just be careful when you get to April. I feel like you could be a little bit tired. You have the 10 of Wands and the Knight of Swords. So I don't know what's going on for you in April. I don't know where you're at for Easter, but it could feel like you kind of get to that and you've been working really, really hard. Maybe that's that you've been working hard to build up your savings and it's at the expense of lack of sleep, and you've been like putting too much in, and then all of a sudden you get this like rush of energy, like you just need to explore, go do something else. This is fast moving energy, and this is like 10 of Wands. It speaks about, you know, getting to the end, not being able to carry all of your responsibilities. And if you're on the verge of having that anxious kind of behavior, it could be something that sets you off in April that just makes you kind of snap, okay? And I can't remember if it's March or if it's April, but there's a retrograde in Mercury in one of the months. So it's going to be, your communication's going to be off as well. It could be that you're a little bit snappy because you're so freaking tired. Okay, so May. Now I'm just going to put it out there. I am the messenger, so don't shoot the messenger, okay? But I do see that some of you are ending connections when it comes to May, okay? There's no other way to put it. 3 of Swords, 5 of Swords. 3 of Swords speaks about exactly what it is. You know, breakup, emotional, heartache, despair. Doesn't necessarily always mean breakup. I look for other cards around it, but I can see the other cards around it that lead to that. 5 of Swords speaks about winning an argument, but like losing like the bigger game type thing. You know, another way people describe it is winning the argument but losing the war, that kind of, I don't know, it just annoys me, that analogy. But this card combination, Swords, it's all mental energy again, more of that anxiety, mental stuff going on. And for me, it feels very much like if you are in a partnership and you felt a little bit lackluster in terms of like commitment and relationship, wanting this beautiful unconditional love, not really getting it, feeling anxious because you're making bank, but you're kind of like not emotionally fulfilled, you're going to like reach a breaking point in April that could actually lead to a separation, okay? Now, I do want to make the point that eclipses are final, okay? So whatever happens at eclipses That's it. When we close the door on something during an eclipse, there's no going back. It's not like we have a breakup and then we get back together and then we want to be back together again. It's the universe's way of saying, this is no longer serving you. This is no longer part of your destiny in the world. This is no longer good for your higher purpose, your higher good. And it's time to break free and go out into your own. And now look, this, you always have free will and destinies, and this is a general reading, so it may not apply to you. You may be a very happy coupled Libra and you're like going, Ali, that's totally not me. Like, we're getting married this year, we're doing something else. It depends on your natal chart and a whole range of different things. But I do see that energy coming through and it's very clear, so I have to call it as I see it. And it kind of carries on as you get to June. So you've got the 5 of Pentacles coupled with the Maiden. So the Maiden speaks about a deeply intuitive spiritual woman, someone who seems almost a little bit out of reach. You could be inspired or enamored by her, a little bit in awe. 5 of Pentacles speaks about feeling a little bit left out in the cold shoulder. So for some of you, for the men out there, you could be walking away from a connection like this, or you could be walking away from a stale connection and moving towards something like this, moving to something that actually illuminates you and brings you joy, like a feeling you can't or you haven't been able to explain before. This could be why moving or your home is such a focal point for you, because it could actually explain about breaking a happy home or what people perceive to be a happy home, and then moving on to start something new with like the other woman or another woman. And now, ladies, don't hold on to this too rigidly, because it could be reversed. I just say woman because the card is female. So it could be vice versa. You could be leaving a happy home, or maybe an unhappy home, because I do have the 4 of Cups here, in pursuit of that ideal, that romantic kind of unconditional love ideal. And it's bookmarked right on either end. So I do see for some of you that's what's going on. I also want to point out it's another frickin' 5, so another card of change, and it's a repeating message for you, 5 of Coin. It's exactly the same card that you have as you come into July. So for some of you, you might not make that change until July. You could just be thinking about it in June. It wouldn't surprise me if you make that change in July, because July is when you have that eclipse in Cancer on the 2nd, and you know, Cancer is all about our intimate relationships and how we relate to each other. Whew, I feel heavy just talking to you about it. But that's pretty much what's coming up for you in the beginning. So as you're looking at the first half of 2019, a lot of self-worth stuff, a lot of internal kind of introspection, figuring out who you are again, finding your truth. And then making some necessary changes when it comes to love and intimate relationships. Now, I am going to have a look at your overall energy, which is the 11 of Cups. So this is the Page of Cups. So it's quite interesting, actually. In this deck, it's called the Emotion versus Intellect. And I think this couldn't be a better card to kind of explain your overall energy for the first 6 months. It's like, on one hand, you're being led by your heart and trying to follow your heart. And then the other hand, it's like your mind is telling you, don't do that, do this, don't do that, do this. So critical, so self-critical. And this for me is a card about balancing the two. The illustration on the card kind of show that, right? Can you see, like, what I see is this gunk. This is that negative self-talk that she's trying to balance, and then the purity of the other side and the wisdom of the divine in the middle. And this is the invitation for you, Libra. How do you do that? What are the tools to do that? As I've said to you before, meditation, going within, journaling, writing it down, self-care, self-love, nurturing, swimming in the ocean, having showers in the dark, cleansing your energy, talking to friends. But the big thing for you this year, the big one for you this year is laughter. Bringing in laughter every day. Watch something funny every day to kind of snap yourself out of this. That's what you need to make your heart sing. It can be some podcast, some stupid cat video on YouTube. I'm not sure, whatever it is that kind of lights your fire. If you don't meditate, then I want you to try and watch something funny each day. Something just makes you belly roar, makes you laugh, makes your belly like kind of like, you know, tighten, you know, with laughter, when you just kind of have that full, like, can't even speak kind of laughter. That's what you need to be able to handle this energy, okay? Because it is going to be a little bit intense for some of you. And if some of you aren't ending a relationship, then I see you ending a career and moving on completely. Something that's going to bring you more money. It could be that whatever you're doing right now, you only stay in until about May, and then you make that shift. All right, so let's have a look at your second half. The second half looks better, even though you've still got a few cards of change, but that's okay. That's around the eclipses, and everyone's going to have that. Additional guidance, thank you. Yeah, I thought so. There it is, your phoenix rising from the ashes. Judgment on the Five of Pentacles. Additional guidance, thank you. That's so cool. I can't wait to show you that. That's really cool. Thank you. There's the High Priestess again. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So, as I said to you, you have this repeating kind of card from June into July of the Five of Pentacles, right? So it speaks about that feeling of being left out in the cold. It's interesting, the illustration in this deck, because it kind of shows it like the devil being the trickster. You kind of see he's like robbed her of her jewels and stuff like that, and it's like your shadow side, yeah, coming into play. The Five of Pentacles speaks about a feeling of loss. It could be financial loss, it could be because you've just changed jobs, it could be that you need to change jobs. But what's really interesting is that in July, when you have the eclipse in the sign of Cancer, which is all focused on your home, your foundation, family, that feeling that other people are judging you, or you feel like other people are judging you because you don't have it in a certain way, that's going to dissipate, okay? Because you have this beautiful card of resurrection, the card of judgment. This is literally my card of the phoenix rising from the ashes, okay? This is where you start to really go, what do I want? And I mean in every aspect of your life. It's like life by design. How do I want my life to look? What kind of friendship circle do I want to have? How do I want to spend my weekends? What's it going to be like for me? And this is what you're doing. You're really doing that kind of inner work and inner questioning, so you can let go of this feeling, of that bondage kind of feeling of trying to please everyone else, and then step into your own, this elevated feeling of elation. And in doing that, it may mean that you have to cut certain people out of your life, like I told you. So you have the Three of Swords and the Five of Swords on top of each other, which, as I said, for some of you, I either see that being a breakup in a relationship or a breakup in career. And then as you come into August, you have the Five of Cups coupled with the Seven of Pentacles. So this is a card of depression and sorrow, and it speaks about needing to have patience. So again, it could be related to, and this is the theme for you all year, Libra, is about your destiny in the world, what you're passionate about. And it could just be that you've changed jobs or career, or you've expanded your business and you're working really hard and you're not seeing the results and you're feeling a little bit flat by that, okay? Everything takes time, yeah? And look, I'm the reader on the other end of the screen. I know that's easy for me to say, but one of the hardest lessons I'm still learning, being an Aries rising and an Aries moon, is that I'm all about fire, passion. Let's get it done. Let's get it started. Let's do it now type thing. And so for me, I get this kind of energy. I get this struggle of waiting to see things kind of bloom. And really, I see for you in the month of August, that's going to be your lesson, okay? Having the patience and trying not to get bogged down in emotion whilst you're waiting to see things come to fruition. Remember I said that there was something really cool? Have a look at this. This is so beautiful. So you go from the Five of Cups, right? And the Seven of Pentacles, what I was just talking about, like this card of depression, Five of Cups, and then having patience, waiting for like your money to come in, your investments to pay off, into September. That same card, the Five of Cups, now in the reverse, meaning you've moved on from that energy, coupled with the Six of Wands, which is success, fame, victory. That's amazing. It's like in a 1 month turnaround, you go from I'm working my ass off trying to wait for things to kind of, you know, come together. Whether you may be in sales, you could have your own business, as I've said many times. You could be studying and you're just waiting for everything to fall into place. And then bam, freaking bam, you come to September and it's just all there for you, okay? You let go of this melancholy feeling that depression's out the window because you've got the 6 of freaking wands, baby. Woo! Boom! This is a card of recognition, of fame. It's a card of success at its very core, okay? It shows someone that's worked really hard to get to where they are. And what's really cool about the illustration on this, other than it looks like they're playing putt-putt golf, right? It's showing this real balance, this polarity between shadow and light. And I've talked about that a few times in your reading, but that's what I see coming up for you in the month of September. Beautiful progression. I love it. October. Whew. You have the High Priestess again. There is that deeply spiritual woman that I keep talking about that keeps coming up in your readings. This could be friend, foe, I'm not sure who it is that plays out in your life, but it's coupled with the card of the Counselor, or let's say the 12 of Cups, the 12 of Water. So you remember I said it's not like traditional tarot, but if I was to break it down for you, it's making a love offer to someone. This is like the Knight of Cups. So it could be that you're wanting to make a love offer to someone that's quite spiritual, that's very connected to their intuition, that just kind of lights you up. And you remember I said you had that card in the month of, where was it? I need to find it now. It's going to drive me nuts. The Maiden, there you go. In the month of June. And it could possibly be that you're leaving one home for another, or moving on to this, and it could be male or female, right? It could just be that this is kind of like soulmate energy for you, Libra. Well, for some of you, it could be that in this month you're making a proposal, or you're making, and it doesn't have to be like a proposal for marriage. It could be, let's take this to the next level. You're proposing something of some form of commitment, or some form of progression in your relationship, okay? And I really see that coming through, and this is something that's quite deep, something that's going to fulfill you kind of like you've never been fulfilled before. For those that have ended quite long relationships, I feel like this is something that will start pretty quickly, around July or August, maybe a little bit earlier for you. That's really going to like shake you to your core foundation. It's going to literally take the breath away. Take your breath away. It's really quite beautiful, because it's deeper than just the physical, right? Not only do you have the physical and the mental, but you've got this spiritual connection, and that's kind of like nothing that you've ever felt before. Then you come into November, and this is just a beautiful combination. You have the card of faith coupled with the 3 of Wands. So this speaks about having faith and backing yourself in whatever it is that you're trying to create and build. Okay, this is one off being the 4 of Wands, which speaks about foundations, and that's what the whole focus is for you this year, on your foundation, your home, on building something concrete for yourself. And this is a card of telling you to have faith, to keep going, like you're so close, you're almost there, you just need that one more wand. And it's really beautiful, because it's kind of like, as I said to you in the beginning of the reading, this push and pull between what you're trying to create and what you're trying to build, and letting go of all this kind of karma and this emotional baggage and debris that you've been carrying for a long time, Libra, about pleasing freaking other people, putting yourself first. And ironically, when you do that, what happens? You become 10 times more attractive, because you're standing up for your self-worth, and you start to attract in the right kind of person that's going to come in and really blow your mind. And then that gives you the confidence that you need to actually build the life, the career, to go after your life purpose and what it is that you're going to do and create in this world. Just, minor changes. And then as December comes around, I did tell you that there was one more eclipse in the sign of Capricorn. Back again for your the area of your chart that focuses on your home, your foundation, your inner being, your family. If you haven't moved, some of you could be moving then. We do have the Tower card here, so it's sudden change coupled with the Ace of Pentacles. So this doesn't have to be anything negative. I know it looks quite gloomy. This could actually be making a deposit on a house, could be buying property, Whatever it is, it could be that you finally get to the end of the year and you now have the means and capability to do that. I feel like this is positive in nature because of the ace that it's coupled with. The Ace of Pentacles is literally a gift from the heaven, okay? It doesn't mean you get a windfall. It means you've earned it, but it's like all the stars align to bring you what you want. And in the space of your home, your foundation, your inner being, your family, I feel like this could be about property for you. Beautiful. Love it. That eclipse in Capricorn is on the 26th of December for those that are interested. And just to confirm that one more time, the energy for the second half of the year, the overarching energy for you is that of the crone. Now, try not to be put off by her appearance. You know, she's a little bit old and grey, but she comes with a lot of wisdom. It's about freedom, self-expression. For the ladies watching, it's very much a card of empowerment, like feminine power, that kind of thing. Those that have gone through divorce and been married for a long time, this is about you stepping out into your own, you know, that phoenix rising from the ashes kind of stuff and rebuilding. And that applies to the men too that have gone through relationships that haven't worked. I feel like this is the year where you really figure out who you are as an adult and you step into your own. And as I said to you before, in doing that, that's when you figure out you know, what your role is in this world, what your career is going to be, what your destiny is. And that's perfect as you go into 2020 because that's going to be big. All right, so let's have a look at the love energies for you. I'm going to draw one major oracle card for you. One oracle card for love for the sign of Libra in 2019. Oh, that's funny. You got the Two of Cups, or the card of union. What did I tell you about meeting a soulmate this year? Or a life partner, or literally the one? Yeah, it's coming. One card for spiritual development and growth, please. For Libra, 2019. So these cards that I'm using are Native American inspired. One of my spirit guides, she's a Native American woman and she's focused very much on healing. So I've been drawn to these. She keeps trying to guide me in that way, teaching me new things. And I found these cards really quite beautiful in their messages. Just one card for Libra, please. Okay, so you got Grandmother Moon, number 11. Legs 11. Okay, Two of Hearts, Two of frickin' Cups, because, you know, you couldn't have any more beautiful love energy. Let me read this for you from the book. Two of Hearts union. The reflection of a loving relationship reveals something new. Love is embraced in a rainbow river, buoyed by the spirals of divine potential. Pulses of white light bring the couple love and healing. Loving pink, wise blue, and the gold of enlightenment sustain and move with the lovers in an undulating journey of sensual rhythm. This will bring them home to the love and truth of who they are. Wow, Libra, if that doesn't speak about everything I've been talking about in terms of this year for you, I don't know what does. The Two of Hearts honors a relationship that reveals new ways to love and create. Whether this partnership is romantic, family-related, a friendship, professional, or with the natural world, it is leading you to something greater. Love and deep friendship are the main focus here. However, you will only accept the amount of love that you think you deserve. Big, big message for you there, Libra. I'm going to repeat that. You will only accept the amount of love you think you deserve. This card is a reminder that love is a state of being, not a fleeting emotion that temporarily lifts you up and makes you feel good. Be open to the love that is always with you. Grandmother Moon. So this speaks about your spiritual development, okay? Number 11, a shining example. Trust your feelings. The healing energy of Grandmother Moon is guiding you to step back with the sacred lunar cycles. That's crazy. I mean, how many eclipses do we have with the moon and the sun? It says, in doing so, you'll find yourself within the divine ebb and flow of our great universe. Grandmother Moon governs the emotional body that is the ocean within. It is time that you allow yourself to flow and embrace the goddess. Grandmother Moon tells us that to seek is not to find, and that to try promotes an element of failure. However, there is no wrongs, and this is not about succeeding or failing. This is about allowing and surrendering yourself to the divine flow of all that is. Our grandmother leads by beautiful example by trusting her cycles. Her trust creates an energy that you may step into to be within her cycles, and in doing so you can trust the rise and fall of all that is unfolding. Be the creator of your own world, and do so knowing that all is available to you in perfect timing within the turning of the cycles. Your thoughts and beliefs can place limitations on your ability to receive and pull you out of innate cycles. So trust and feel the energies of Grandmother Moon, and know you are safe to explore all she brings into awareness. So this is really about what I was talking about before, about having faith and trusting yourself, within yourself, to deliver the projects that you're working on, to go after your dreams, to do whatever it is that lights you up as an individual. Okay, and far too often, particularly with the sign of Libra, I see that you sacrifice for others, and that's the message, right? Don't put others first this year. It's all about you. All right, Libra, I hope you found this reading helpful. It was an absolute pleasure doing it for you. You have a cracker year ahead. Lots of change, lots of growth, lots of letting go. But I think you'll agree, by the time you get towards the end of the year, some of you are going to have this beautiful new soulmate kind of divine love, you know, two hearts coming together in union, that real beautiful connection that only people sometimes dream about and don't get in this lifetime. And the energy is coming right for you. So take advantage of it, do the work, put yourself first. I wish you all the very best. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. And if you would like me to do a personal private reading for you, have a look at the cards for your year coming up in 2019. Then I am available. Have a look in the description bar below. Thanks, Libra. Take care.